Yes guys, welcome back to another video, and this one I had to do an update video. I wouldn't really do this. I would have covered everything in my first video, but it has blown out of proportion ever since the last time we sat down and made one of these videos, and I just had to do another one based on the same topic of coronavirus. So where do we start? Look, it's been a very turbulent week, and every single day it is just compounding to more and more craziness of what is going on in the world when it comes down to this coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. Even Trump the other day called it the China virus, which is slightly racist, but still, it did come from China. Italy have confirmed that, you know what, they're very much struggling. Yeah, they're very much struggling when it comes down to containing this virus, and it is literally blowing out of proportion over there. And their deaths now have overtaken China's deaths. Yeah, and even though China had 81,000 cases, the most in the whole world, they only had a death rate of about 3,200, which means they done very well. Very well done, China. So they have probably done the best at containing this compared to Italy. Now, Italy have had a lot of cases, but their deaths have overtaken China's deaths. Yeah, so their deaths have come close to about 3,500, and by the time this is uploaded and the time you watch this, unfortunately will probably be well in the 4,000, 5,000s, because the way this is compounding is absolutely nuts. So what Trump has said a couple of weeks ago is, don't worry, we are completely safe, we're completely sound, we're just gonna lock off flights to and from China and we'll be okay. He locked off flights to and from Iran. Still, it managed to get into his country. Also, Iran, another country that we forgot to mention. There's not really much they can do when it comes down to their medical power, pumping more money into research, and pumping a lot of money basically and capital into helping the people out there who are dying in their country. Now, moving forward, we come to the UK. So what has the UK done? Mr. Boris, Mr. Johnson. So what has he done? Flapping his hair around while riding one of his Santander bikes. Okay, what has he done? So Boris has announced a couple of days ago that we will be closing all schools across the country. Now, he's also told people try and stay in as much as possible. Compared to Italy, he does not really want to lock the country down, but we are probably ending up going into a lockdown. And by the time this is released and out there on YouTube, we are probably sitting in a lockdown at the comfort of our own homes with our feet up, doing absolutely nothing, playing some games. You know what I mean? Messing around on Instagram, playing with our phones, whatever we do in boredom. Yeah, me personally, I love COD. It's amazing, but still, we still got to work and earn money at the end of the day, which we are currently doing from the comfort of our own homes. But unfortunately, this is going to affect the economy heavily, and has already started affecting the economy because offices are closing down. Even our offices, they've said literally to us, if there's no need or emergency to be in, do not come in. And this is happening throughout the rest of the country as well. Transport has been restricted. People aren't really, using public transport anymore, and soon public transport will be locked off. And I'm not surprised if it is, because, if we follow exactly what China is doing, then yeah, public transport will be locked off. The whole country will be locked off, and everybody will be under a lockdown in their own houses, quarantined in their own houses, isolated in their own houses. Oh my God. But what is happening with businesses? Now, this is affecting businesses, and not just businesses, but people in a very bad way. People are going jobless. Apple have announced that, they have closed 5,000 stores across the world. They cannot risk it at all. When you walk into an Apple store, the first thing you do is pick up, something and play with it. Yeah, this can spread contamination. And don't forget, guys, this might seem to some people like it's fake. This virus is just a hoax, but let's be real, it is killing people. It is highly contagious. If it wasn't highly contagious, we wouldn't worry about it too much. We'd just be like, you know what? wash your hands, you'll be all right. But no, this is deadly. Put it this way now. This is where the real statistics come in, and this is where the real thinking and scare comes in, yeah? If I was to give you 100 Skittles, for instance, yeah? Skittles, who doesn't like Skittles? Skittles. Now, if I was to give you 100 Skittles, and I told you 3 of those Skittles could kill you, would you eat any of those Skittles at all? Me personally, I wouldn't touch any of them. If I knew maybe 3 of them out of those 100 Skittles could kill me, I'm not touching any of them. I'm not going to take my chances. I'd rather leave it out. Yeah, it needs to be locked off immediately. There needs to be found a cure immediately. Yeah, and like I said, our country will soon be going into a lockdown, and by the time we're watching this, we are probably sitting in a lockdown. So if you haven't already, it is best to stock up on supplies as soon as possible, but do not go out there and go panic buying. Please just go and get what exactly you need. There are so many other people out there as well that aren't able to access, some of the resources that we are able to access, aren't able to access the shops that we are able to access. And trust me when I say this, you can sit back and order online and you will be absolutely fine. Don't worry about it, yeah? Because even if we go into lockdown, at least food deliveries will still be able to be delivered to your door. There are certain rules and regulations they cannot lock off. People still need to eat at the end of the day. People still need necessities, and people still need, essentials. So at the end of the day, just please stock up on the things that you really need to stock up on for the next couple of weeks. And after that, we'll see and assess the situation. And that is what Boris is saying as well. He's obviously took a little bit of a slow approach to it right at the beginning. But as things got worse and worse, and especially in the last 3 days, the numbers have nearly doubled in the UK. Yeah, this is spreading and jumping around at a very fast rate. Like one person catches it and passes it on to another 4 people. And it can be passed on just like that, yeah? Those 4 people pass it on to another 4, and then to another 4, and then to another 4. By the time you know it, you have at least your first 100, infected. But here's the good news. Good news! Good news. So, China have successfully contained the virus, and in the last 2 days, 0 deaths and 0 cases have been confirmed. So far, that number has not increased to any more, and they have successfully contained it. And how have they done this? China, as we all know, produce everything in the world. Yeah, they produce everything mass production. So what they have done is increase the amount of people in hospitals. They have built 2 hospitals, one in 10 days, which is the largest production building in the world. Yeah, accommodating nearly 2,000 people, and another hospital which took them 14 days to build. Also, along with hospitals, they needed equipment, they needed clothes, they needed gloves, they needed face masks, they needed all kinds of stuff to come with it. So how were they going to do that? Come on, guys, this is China. China make this stuff in their back garden. So they have made hospital beds, multiple gone into mass production, sent out to all the hospitals out there. They've made multiple test tubes, sent it out there. Protective clothing, sent that out there. Hand gel, sent that out there. Everything that they need to stock up on and speed up the process on producing, they've done so, and slowed down the production on anything else. Now this has also played a negative economy on the rest of the world, because obviously they needed the resources from themselves, which means everything else around the world that need also their resources start to slow down and suffer. US trying to import from China has slowed down. UK has slowed down. Germany has slowed down on the way that we are able to help people. Now they are able to go back into mass production and help the rest of the world out there and ship these things out to the rest of the world, so the rest of the world can actually take a leaf out of their book. It started there first, and it has ended there first as well. So very well done, China. So, what is going to happen to the UK? Earlier on today, we have just cut interest rates even further. So last week we dropped interest rates by 50 points. Now we've dropped them another 24 points. So the interest rate now is literally a very, very low point, like 0.1, which is very low. Now, obviously businesses are slowly going bust because they're not able to make money to pay their bills. They're not able to make money to pay their staff. Now, what they have said is they're willing to give out more loans to businesses that are suffering, yeah, at a very low rate. But listen to this now. This is at a very low rate of 0.1, which is supposed to be a good thing, because when you borrow, you only have to pay back a lot less, but this is variable. Variable. Listen to the main word there. Variable. Look, variable interest rate, when you take out that loan with them, they're producing money out of thin air, they're printing it out of nowhere, and this variable rate means you might be able to pay 0.1% today, but in 2 years' time, you could be potentially paying 2%. And what if your business isn't even doing that well by then? They are literally taking advantage of people who do not have money. It's like an overdraft. Overdraft charges, which are a bit silly. You're making money on people who don't even have money in the first place. You're charging people money on money they don't even have. So you're making money out of money that hasn't even existed yet. So this could go really, really bad, or it could go really, really well. So look, let's wrap it up now. If we follow the same direction that China is following, if we take the same steps that China is following, and hopefully Boris does follow and listen and is not ignorant to what the rest of the world is doing as well, including Trump as well. He can learn a lot from China, and he may not like China, yeah, but he can learn a hell of a lot from China on how they have come and developed this problem that has taken place. They have come to a massive, really good solution when they had the most cases in the world. Yeah, out of the whole world, they had 81,000 cases, which they have managed to contain to 0, which means nobody else is dying from this virus anymore in China. And hopefully the rest of the world can also, like I said, take a leaf out of China's book. But yeah, the time you watch this, you'll probably be in lockdown. I may shoot another one again of these if things start going again out of hand and again very, very crazy. But other than that, make sure you like, subscribe and comment.